Freddie Kissoon Show. Bring it!
Let me ask you this question. I would like to ask the AG to propose legislation for what we call small claims court. There are lots of poor people, to an example you just gave, that they have issues with others and sometimes with large firms, but the lawyer fee is greater than the fee you're claiming.
It is their
right.
Unlike the right that someone has, all of our rights exist in context.
What is the context of a second medical opinion?
Because you're disrespecting the process.
No.
Jesus, this is common sense, man.
Any situation which you seem to do, you're just dealing with Afro-Guyanese issues. If one, you can't bring and pull the leaders of the African community together, you're failing. And if two, you can't put forward a future, a blueprint, and a plan for African Guyanese, you're failing as well.
Hi there. Thanks for being with us this Wednesday evening. As you could see from your screen, we have one of our largest supporters of this program. I can't count the amount of times you've come on it, but he is one of about 8 persons that have made this program possible, and we're very grateful. You're looking at one of our enduring supporters, one of our enduring guests, Guyana's 007, James Bond. Once again, thanks for being with us. As you can see, our co-host is missing. Mr. Craig has had an eye operation, and so his eye is bandaged up. James did say to me, if he had worn a patch, it would have looked all right. James, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Uncle Freddie. Thanks for having me, man. It's always a pleasure.
Protocol first. Congratulations on your successful participation in the 2025 elections, and congratulations on being selected to go to Parliament, which means you're going to end up being one of the longest serving parliamentarians. So your pension is assured. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I see when you were being sworn in, you had some loud applause. James, tonight for the hour, I think a lot of people, a lot of our viewers would like an analytical outlay of some seminal political questions, and your interpretation may go some way or a long way in getting them to understand what is going on in our country. If there is anyone to answer a question about the future of the PNC, it would be you. From 31 seats to 12. James, are we witnessing the slow demise of the PNC?
Well, good night to viewers. Good night again. Thanks for having me, Mr. Kissoon. It's you say slow demise, but it's not been slow. I think they have sped towards disaster. They've sped towards it. You said 31 seats, but they came from 2015. It was a 33-32 with they having the one seat majority
and having the government
too. So this is not a slow slide.
Right.
This has been
a sudden impact.
Yeah. It's all because, and I want to put it squarely at the path of leader. I don't like blaming leaders. Because everything headed where the crown. You got everything with leaders is either situational or contextual. The time the leader finds himself, who he has to lead, how adept he is, how flexible he is, how hard he is, his followers are, because sometimes you got some people who are difficult to lead. They're stiff-necked. But I think the party at itself has had a number of opportunities to correct certain things. The first thing is the treatment of young people. That's the first thing. Young people are still not valued. hard work is still not valued. They don't listen, still don't listen. I mean, you have someone who actually saw what alienating key people would do and went and make the same mistake.
Oh, no.
You know, you alienate key people to put in people who never had a contribution to the party. And you expect a different result? No, sir. So what I mean, let me put it this way, David Granger, when in 2015, sideline marginalized young people, young hardworking people, people who contributed towards the victory. For people who never had a single day of campaigning or foot slogging, of making the victory possible. And in 2025, Aubrey Norton puts people in parliament who don't know what it is to struggle and fight with the PNC, you know, young people who were there, Christopher Jones, Kibwe Copeland, who Brajna Ryan, Annette Ferguson, Elizabeth Nile, Williams, so many young people, I can't remember all of them. For people like Terrence Campbell, you know, that is to me a slap in the face of Terrence. And Darren Wade has been there slugging it along, doing all them matters for free for the PNC. And then, you know, no, definitely, I don't have it against Dexter Todd. But then Dexter Todd supersedes Darren Wade, who's been there, who's worked.
Been there, done that.
Done that. Then you had Ubraj Narain, who's held the city of Georgetown. Fantastic brother. Work hard, is very popular in and out of the party.
Got some extra qualities as a pandit,
etc. And he's still a foremost leader in the Hindu community. He's still seen as a leader in the Hindu community. And then you have him sidelined for Saiku or Riaz or whoever else. So I think there's going to be a lot more hemorrhaging. I think they have lost their way completely. And I don't feel sorry for them, not one bit. I mean, you've asked me for a comment. I'm from the school of thought where if you have the upper hand, you keep pressing. There'll be no letting up on my part. I have no sympathies. You can mess it up for all you care. All I care, you can mess it up, you know. But I think it's for the people who we really feel for. What type of representation? Because politics is like this. And this is something I must thank the leaders of the PPC from since I got in with the PPC, you know. The General Secretary, I must say, thanks His Excellency Barajagdeo, President Imam Herford Ali, the General Secretary, Barajagdeo, I must say this very clearly. First advice President Jagdeo would have given me is, look, you've got to be with the people, you know. You've got to know the PP people. They've got to see you. And you could see very clearly the PPP civic has a different handling of these matters, is that they ensure that people who've been with them, who've worked with them, who have struggled with them are seen, are respected. They do that. So I had to ensure that, you know, I identified with my PPC comrades. That's the first advice. And you could tell that these guys on the other side who have no groundings with the common PNC comrade, but are now supposed to represent them, they can't. They have not struggled enough. They have not heard their cries enough. So I don't think in any way, shape, or form that they could represent the party's interests. I think in a few years, by the time this is done, this 13th Parliament is concluded, I'm sure that they'll be weaker than before. I guarantee it. Because the people who actually do the hard work, they're going to say, nah, me working. Because I'm doing all the work and then someone was getting all the praise or getting all the rewards. So that's the state of that. But like I said, I feel no sympathies whatsoever for Aubrey Norton and whoever else is in charge over there.
You've answered the question, but I want to persist. Is, in your analysis, is the PNC going to have more than 12 seats or less than 12 seats?
Easy answer.
2030?
Easy answer, less.
Less than 12
I could...
You don't want to hazard a number?
No, there'll be less. I could say they'll lose another 2 or 3 seats. I think so. They'll lose Georgetown, definitely local government.
That's next year coming up.
That's next year coming up. They'll lose badly at the local government in Georgetown. The first time we'll win the city. We'll win the city for the first time. We'll win the city. And they're going to be demoralized. I mean, they can't outwork the PPC. That's the first thing. You can't outwork the PPC. The PPC is a unit. It's a team. One thing the president says a lot is, this is no ego, this is team. Every single person is part of a team. You know, so there's no minister or member of parliament or advisor or comrade or whichever level you're from, the PPC is one team. So you can't beat that. It's very, very, very difficult to beat people who are focused and people who are actually united. That's a difficult thing. So Georgetown is history. Georgetown is gone. Wynn has shown that they will eat into their base a bit due to the PNC's folly in actually allowing Wynn this space to operate in your base. I mean, that's one of the most serious mistakes any politician could make. You actually welcome an enemy into your base, allow him to campaign in your base and walk with your votes. You lose Linden, you lose Region 4, you lose Corn, you lose Husk. There's no coming back from that. None. And then whether they want to like what Odessa Primus said, you need resources. And PNC has shown itself that they're afraid of money. They're afraid of resources. They're afraid of people with money. They're afraid of business people. They're petrified at the business community. I said they have not once, Aubrey Norton has told his followers and his people, look, get into business, work with the government, get into business. You avail yourself of the opportunities that the government has. You know, take care, ensure you take care to get involved in business. That has never been a message. They've been belligerent against the private sector. They've been an enemy of the private sector, except for a photo op or two. So if you don't have any resources to campaign, what do you think will happen? If you're not pointing your people to the resources to help them, what do you think will happen? So local government elections, they're going to be, again, a third. There are spent force, they're going to be a third again. They're going to be a third. It's going to be PP Civic winning, Win probably second, and them third. That's for the local government for Georgetown.
In draft, remember all of us grew up playing draft, right?
Wow.
And they got a movement in draft called Huff You From Not Eating. So Win did that to the PNC.
Yeah.
Huff them from not eating.
Yeah, they took a lot of things for granted. You see, they depended so heavily on the race vote. You know, these guys think that calling people house slaves and
post-slavery trauma.
Yeah, these guys think, oh, let me beat the black community into submission. If I attack a few people and then the rest is good. But people are slave, people are not. People are like a different now. People are like, Chief, this is me seeing what this government is doing. This government is making development personal. This government is, let me make that point again. The government is making development personal. So that everything that it does has a personal impact on the community. So you see, the president just recently said, look, he's going to get a task force to look at the drainage in Georgetown. He's bringing all the brightest together to sort it out. And there's going to be a ton of resources. Concrete drains coming, yes, but it's going to be tons of opportunities, business opportunities for young contractors to start doing these concrete roads and concrete drains and having income. So a young man gets a contract to do a concrete drain, say of 100 meters, he's got about 40 million. I'm just guessing the cost. a couple $1 million to do that. And so, personally, people in Georgetown, not only will the drainage situation be alleviated, the drainage concerns, but again, you'll have a new class of businesses, a new round of opportunities for contractors, etc. in Georgetown itself. You see the cemetery, the project at the Liberty Cemetery. That's coming along nicely. They've run out of roads to do, thanks to Minister Jill. So the heritage sites, you name it. So Georgetown's going to be a whole new different city, and everything is going to be personal. For example, you're going to have cleaner communities, safer communities. So the man who is concerned that, I know High North Rheinfeldt, High Festival City, I know you guys complained about the spate of robberies you've been enduring for a while, but that'll be over soon. You're going to have safer communities. We're working on actually advocating to have an outpost right there in the area, North Rheinfeldt Festival City, and put down a mobile outpost there to stem that. So the government is doing a lot in terms of making sure that the development again touches every single Guyanese, irrespective of if you vote for them or not. They're still doing it. So all of that, I think, will lead towards, again, a greater support for the PP Civic. And I can tell you, let me give you an example. I walk 2 times a week, and we were walking in North Rheinfeldt the other day there. And persons are asking for a PP Civic group. We know there's the cluster. But imagine people here asking for a group in North Rheinfeldt. You know what is that? That's the heart. South Georgetown, North Georgetown, that's the heart. I think we beat the New and them and North Georgetown these elections. But North Rheinfeldt is through and through PNC support. I think they won the elections. I think local government was like over 2,000 votes they won in the last 2023, I think it was. So people there right now are saying, look, we want a PPP group here. And that speaks volumes. Shout out to the people of North Rheinfeldt, Barbie Dam, etc.
James, how long do you give Norton, either voluntarily or being coerced, out of the PNC leadership, or not at all?
He's out already, man. I mean, look, he's out already.
He's a PNC leader.
No, but he's out already. I think, but I mean, he's out already. Look. Let me say this here. As a person, I like Aubrey Norton. As an individual, Aubrey Norton is a cool fellow, a cool guy. My first entry to politics was with Aubrey. And Winston, Murray, and the whole team there. Richard Van West Charles, Ron Austin Sr., Kat Scott, Gillian Burton, Mervyn Williams, a number of other people, Eugene Gilbert. My mind a little rusty.
I know quite a number of them that you called.
Yeah, so that's my first and being around these guys. And Aubrey's very, very, in terms of a person, I have no complaints on Aubrey. But as a politician, oh man, it's easy to talk politics. And that's why I realized, very, very early, I realized a lot of people talk politics. That's why I spend a lot of politics on the ground. That's why I do a lot of politics on the ground. It's good to know the theory. But I think what's missing is analysis. I think few leaders could really analyze the ground. To go on the ground and make an assessment as to what the truth is. What is really there? Do I have support there? How much work do I have to put in there? What do I have to do to win? I think few leaders do that. I think he's a leader that never did that. He took so much for granted. He never did the groundwork, never did the research, never did the analytics, never did anything, and expected to win. On the other hand, you had the general secretary, who makes this a study. who was making sure he pays attention to everything is on the ground. And the thing is, on the other side, they say very clearly they want to know. They don't want no bluff and fluff. So if you're going to give a report, you can't go and, everything good. They got like 2 or 3 or 4 people going and do the same thing to make sure they get a true assessment what's going on. So as a politician, he's done with. I don't think any PNC would accept him again saying, look, I want to be there for a second round. I want to be there for an extended period. I think the problem is because they do not identify successors. That's a problem. Is the only thing that's keeping him. Because if he was grooming a successor, then this would have been over. But you see, they do not groom anybody. So he has it. The problem now to say, do I hand over to Vince Roy? Do I hand over to who is there? The chairman left, Sherwin left. Do I hand over to Elizabeth? Do I hand over to whoever? All right, he's never groomed anyone. Never, no one is his understudy. Said, look, I'm the guy who's understudy. Nobody. So the problem is that's the only thing he is holding on to a thread is that he has not put a system in place whereby somebody else could come in, and that's bad for a leader. That you spend there about 5 years plus, 5 years, yes, since 2021. And then you have not identified anyone who trained anyone that you could safely say, look, this party is yours. I could step aside and you could safely manage its affairs. But he's done. Make no bones about it. He's done. There's no comeback from this. How do you take Burnham Party from being the government then lead opposition to nothing? I mean, everybody would have criticized Corbyn. But Corbyn never gave them results.
James, what I don't understand, and see if you could help me out here with your institutional memory, because I see this as a pattern in the world. In the world, I see this as a pattern. I may not be the greatest analyst, but I think I'm fairly plausible analyst. When you have such a disaster, and there's no other word, James, do you realize I am a dinosaur. I grew up in politics. I went to UG and those PNC people didn't like me because of WPA, but we were friendly. They were all right. That's the PNC I knew. And to think that the PNC from 68 up to 92, then 215 to 20, is now a little speck in Parliament with a party just born is the 16th. I am saying that around the world, the people who built that party, made it something, would have stepped in and said, no, we got to step in. Where is Granger? Where is Greenwich? Where are these people? Somebody got to save the PNC, James Bond. Where is Basil Williams? Where is...
I think most of the persons you were mentioning is probably like saying, oh, it's good for him. Let's be honest. I don't think anybody feel any sympathies.
So they're gonna allow that.
I don't think anyone, because you gotta look and you talk about analyzing people, right? If they were so concerned let's start with for him. Let's start from he's a leader, right? If they were so concerned about him as an individual, they would have come out with some degree of support or some degree of advice as to how to proceed and chart out. The fact that there's such silence of support for him from key people shows, well, person says, well, you mess up Burnham Party, you do what you gotta do. You dig your own hole, you get out of it. As a person.
As we say in common parlance, like he tried it.
All right? This is your blunder. We didn't have nothing to do with your blunder. That's you. That's on you as a person. But what does it say for the party if they're gonna the silence for the party? I think the persons you would have mentioned. Again, I know people who really love the PNC.
They've got to be.
right?
Yeah.
I know the people who love the PNC, who are hurt. And you know, some of them are straight in the PP. Some of them are straight in the PP who hurt more than anybody else wanted the PNC. I've heard a lot of people where people said, James, I can't believe what happened.
I said it on.
You know,
I was doing. I was hosting a program on Ignite Television.
Yeah.
James, and I'm telling you, at my age and my evolution in politics, it's sad to me.
Yeah.
These people have never showed me a bad face.
Yeah.
And they always got this thing when all is said and done. Crazy Freddie, man. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Those are the people, I spent a couple of years analyzing things with Aubrey.
Yeah.
Vincent and I were on a corner away from each other. I mean, I would like the PNC to be the opposition.
And to do well, not just to be the opposition, do well.
Yeah.
You want to see even if your adversary or your competitor do well, because that pushes you to another degree.
And that's why we feel that way. They were part of Guyana. They've been a part.
Right.
Man, when you talk about the PPP, the PNC, GAU, your TUC, the Botanic Garden, you're talking about Guyana.
Yes, I agree with you. But I think the persons are not happy to where the state of the party is. They're not happy with his leadership, but they're not happy with the state of the party, how the party has evolved. And they've stayed away from that. Because I've had a number of complaints of persons who are saying that persons in the party, they're acrimonious, they get cussed out, they get abused. So the whole culture of the party has changed. So these folks don't want to be associated with the new culture of the party. So that's why you see there's so much silence from the old stalwarts and the elders, etc. You really can't, because they're not happy to where the party is, the state the party has descended to. So there's on one hand disaffection with the leadership, and there's the other hand disaffection with the culture of the party. And unless you get a new leader with a vision, a progressive vision. Let me repeat that. See, if you get a new leader with a progressive vision and a different culture in the party, I think gonna run away people like Gita and people.
She said
like
you want a person that brought her into politics.
Yeah, I got a lot of
on this program.
I got a lot of kids in politics, a lot of kids, a lot of people that are in politics now.
Gita said she's one.
Yeah, and that's my style. I tell people, if I walk through a door, I'm bringing people with me. Sherrod Duncan, Ganesh Mai, Paul, all of them, they got to call me Uncle James. They got to call me Grandfather James, Daddy James. Because of their first political exposure, I would have says, look, I'm with Mr. Murray, come along. So at the end of the day, is like, again, they got to fix their problems. For me, I'm good.
Yeah, you gone.
I'm good. And I say I'm glad I get off that vessel. And it just shows, because if I'd even stuck around, I like to say I thank God for timing. It's one of the things in politics that you have to understand timing. And since like a couple years before, I saw what was happening. I went around when there was the Congress and tried to see if, I could have done it. But then I'm like, no, this is not going to change. This is going to get worse. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I peeped that card, man. This is not gonna go good.
And you just exit, you just cut.
Yeah, I not exit, neither cut. I says, look, I want to be, here the thing is, I'm afraid, I wanted always to be a part of nation building. Yeah. That's the thing, I mean, you want to have the opportunity.
You didn't see it in the direction.
No, it's not happening. It's never going to happen.
Right.
You're never going to have the opportunity to build this country with people who are afraid to go into certain areas and certain communities, who are afraid to engage the private sector, who are afraid to engage the government, who are afraid to do this, who are afraid to do that, who want to stick to do the same thing the whole way, all the time. How are you going to develop Guyana? You're not even developing yourself.
Take us back to your time in the campaign. I saw some videos with you and going around in traditionally PNC areas. There you had a good campaign. You felt that you changed things. You felt that you got African Guyanese to see there's a new pathway. There are new pathways. You were accepted. Receptivity was good. And around October the 30th, 31st, you felt good that you would have played your part when the results are known?
Let me just say teamwork makes the dream work. I saw certain things on the ground, especially in the Afro-Guyanese communities. For me, I thought the election would have been won by the PP Civic because I was seeing how it was trending from way before. They were doing a lot of work in these very communities, non-traditional communities. They were doing a lot of work in the communities in terms of empowering the people. I saw that. And I thought that was in itself may not have been enough, but that was softening people's stance on what the PPP stood for, because they were told, look, this is a party that don't care about you, don't want nothing good for you, etc. And I always use Milner as an example. In that the PP Civic came in, brought all the ministers, took care of the community, created opportunities for young people to elevate themselves. So in the campaign, the task was not only to let people see that the PPP Civic embrace people who didn't normally fall into the group of a PPC supporter. We had to make it okay, make it cool, make it palatable for someone from a Hinds Grove to put on a red shirt, or from Nabakalis or Golden Grove to put on a red shirt to say I'm PPP Civic. That was the challenge, and I must say thanks to people like Minister Edgell. Bishop Edgell made my work a bit easy, extremely easy. Big shout out to Minister Edgell. So we actually had it a time and a half, and I think one of the craziest things that I saw whilst walking these streets is that no other party was campaigning in these streets. I'm telling you, if you saw the PNC once or twice, I never saw Win. One time I saw Win, some youngsters just walking around in Buxton there handing out flyers. Once in the entire campaign. I saw PNC people doing work twice. I'm talking from July, August, September. Yeah, June, July, August, September. So there was a little or no work done in these areas. We did the most work. The people, I say this without fear of successful contradiction. The People's Progressive Party Civic did more work in non-traditional areas than any other party. And the increase in the votes showed it. The increase in support showed it. And the fact that we now have the chairman and vice chairman Region 4 showed it. So I work the communities sometimes 2 times a day, morning and afternoon.
Where were you assigned to? The campaign. I was
on the East Coast. There was no particular assignment for me. My task was very simple. Just work the ground.
East Coast stretching from where to where?
From Maikoni to Pleasance. That's where I worked.
During the election campaign, that was
during the election campaign, I was there working day and night. And people remind me, said, James, but I saw you even on election night. As here you went by me. So from Maikoni to Pleasance, the team, we worked, walking in every single community. I made a task. I tell them, look, we started from end to end. So we will walk from Seawall to Back Dam until we see the end in all them communities. To ensure we were being thorough.
How was the reception in DV, Buxton, Abacalis?
Excellent.
They said, James, come man, I want to see
I only get cussed once or twice. Buxton and Hinds Grove.
And there was an isolated voice.
The one.
Some people just shout out or something.
Yeah, one guy in Buxton says something he said, but he was riding away. Okay. And then in Hinds Grove, another person shouted out, y'all is sell out. I mean, you get shoot like, and I don't really respond and answer to people when they talk. But here I responded, I came back. I said, because he said we get shoot together. So I came back and I spoke with him. And I said, me, you get shoot together. I'm here, you're there. What's the difference? I said, I see what I saw and decided to move forward. What do you see? You know, but I think a mentality is like, some people, they don't want, they're afraid. Let me say what? They're afraid to say, look, I've tried this over and over. You know, I've tried this. Maybe, just maybe, it is now what it is. Let me try something different. And I want to tell people the People's Progressive Party Civic is a party for all Guyanese. It's a party for all Guyanese. And I think the fact that I am here, a lot of people who may not have felt comfortable coming to the People's Progressive Party Civic are now comfortable coming to the People's Progressive Party Civic. You know, and that is something I think we took throughout all the villages, that people were seeing in these non-traditional areas. You see people looking like you supporting this party, then it can't be that bad. It can't be what they're saying. You know, it can't be these people is racist, man. Look at all these guys supporting this party. You think I even support this party racist? You know, I'm sure that they went through that thought process. You know, and then again, like I said, we were able to deliver a lot. Now we're still delivering. You know, Barbie Dam, we stopped showing photos of us doing stuff for people. We went to do some stuff for some areas, Barbie Dams, TV2, etc. We could, the relationship now we got. The thing is, it is so good, easy now campaigning is that all the ministries are more responsive now. So if, for example, I come to Gaisuku scheme and there's an issue, I can raise that issue, and government, the president has said clearly he wants people's problems fixed in fast time. So there's no foot dragging and all that. People's problems are our problems. And this government will only grow from strength to strength. It's going to be another 5 years after 2031 by a greater majority. And it's going to be exciting to see.
But at your age, you got a long more time. You're going to be around.
The truth of the matter is, Uncle Freddie, is that I always said, look, I don't want to stand in the way of younger persons that are coming along. That's why I decided also to make sure I bring forward my timeline, my time frame. You know, I said right here, yeah. I brought it forward because I was saying, look, if you reach into 50, 60, or whatever the case is, you're gonna be standing in the way of some youngster, and I don't want that. I don't want to be there, and then there's a young James Bond knocking at the door and he can't get in because there's a whole James Bond blocking his way.
That is what life should be.
Yeah.
You believe that Norton is nurturing Terrence Campbell, and then we will see in another year or two Campbell just slipping into the leadership of the PNC. You think the selection of Campbell, I would like to think that he was not a card-bearing member before the elections.
Yeah, but you see it how you see it. And I could never tell you your assessment is wrong, because why bring this man in and made him the lead? Yeah, so that is the card to read. That is a clear card to read. But there's another assessment, is that whatever is done has to be with party approval, the comrades' approval, the ordinary Guyanese approval, the group approval. You know, so at a Congress, would people say, oh, let's put Terrence Campbell because Aubrey said put Terrence Campbell there? No. I think if he really wanted to rebuild and do the party, and that are good, just there are good people there, he could actually start nurturing. Christopher Jones, you got Vince Roy, you got Sharma Solomon, you got Darren Wade, you got Ubraj. You got a number of persons. If you're looking for a woman, you got Annette Ferguson, Elizabeth Nile Williams. People who were the ordinary Guyanese, the ordinary PNC is comfortable with. They're not comfortable with Terrence Campbell. You know, who is he? That's a man who actually was taking the vat from the chicken, the two-piece, the legs and the thighs.
Wait.
The man was
wait, you're a lawyer.
No, this is fact. This is not. This
Please
is
be
fact.
careful what you say.
No, this is a fact.
I'll have to issue a disclaimer.
This is a fact. You could issue this disclaimer, but this is a fact. This is the GRA.
But I'm issuing a disclaimer.
Yeah, the GRA actually said he owed some couple billions dollars in taxes. So he wasn't remitting the VAT on the thighs and the legs.
Those views are not the views of the station and Frederick Kissoon.
Yeah.
I've issued a disclaimer.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So that's their issue there. You can't put a man. I don't think. Come on. You got people who've been there. Chris has been there for how many years? 20-something years. Christopher Jones. He served under White. He served under Corbyn. Served under Granger. Served under Norton. You have people who've been there for a long period of time.
Some very, very embedded PNC executives. I've made some indictments against Norton that was very heartbreaking. Elson Lowe sat in that chair and said, outside of the central executive, there is also a closer body of leadership. And he said none of the structures of leadership in the PNC had a say in the selection of those 12 parliamentarians. And he at the time was a treasurer, elected treasurer on one of the inner circles. Sherwin Holder would be the deputy leader because the general secretary, unlike other parties, is not an elected position. That's a position in which the leader, so he can't be the deputy leader. He isn't elected. Sherwin Holder said, and he gave this interview to the Chronicle, that those 12 parliamentarians were never brought to the Central Executive Committee, to anybody. Elson Lowe said he doesn't know about it. He was not involved in it. And Sherwin Holder, I mean, surely, man, that is unusual in world politics. You call a small group and say, what we have here? We think majority for that. Hey, we all think, man. Let me start this thing out. And then, look, James, I could tell you, there are times Jagan there on the table and say no, and he had a style. When the voices start, you see Jagan, you're hearing nothing, right? Jagan make it 2 cents, and the people around the table said, nah. And that man, Jagan, would back down, you know? I'm telling you, sometimes Bonnie used to throw up behind and say, all right, this is what we all want. And then they get afraid. But it's brought Bonham and Jagan brought these things to the table. I can tell you more, particularly what I'm familiar with. Jagan, Elson Lowe and Sherwin Holder said they don't know about the selection of the 12 parliamentarians.
And that's facts. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at that. And you guys mentioning them, those guys were with him all along, right through.
Elson Lowe was the economic advisor.
Yeah, batting with him. But he's somehow superseded by whoever. Sherwin Holder is still a member. He just stepped aside as the chairman because he says, look, I can't be, it's impossible for me to be the chairman of the party and not be involved in these key and critical decisions. It might look as if it's not key and critical, but I think choosing who the party's representatives will be in the National Assembly is key and critical. And to have a leader who didn't consent with these guys, key persons, is astounding. But again, that's the leadership style in which a lot of people, key people in the PNC, they got disgusted with and fed up with. That's why they're not saying anything to Comrade Norton. That's why they're not giving me any advice. They're saying it's good for you. You know, they say it's good for you, you're on your own. You know, and then again, that's a party culture, the party too. Is that you're not consulting people. And I'm telling you, the party has people, I forget senior names, like Brigadier Collins, Bess, Dr. Best.
I think he's alienated.
Dr. Gary Best.
From the little conversation I had with him in Massey's supermarket, I don't think he's enamored with the present leadership of the PNC.
No, but they see that's the thing, right? For me, a leader is a leader. A leader doesn't look for love and acceptance. For me as a leader, the biggest thing is ensuring whatever decisions you take are in the best interest of the group. Whatever decisions must be in the best interest of the group. So if it has to be that I have to work with Dr. Bess, Brigadier Collins, Vala Lawrence, you name it, Richard Van West Charles, Joseph Harmon, Anna Ferguson, who you name it. If making the party stronger means I have to work with these people, I'm working with these people. That's my mentality. I don't see people. I know I tell people my philosophy in life is I always see X's and O's. If you don't understand a game sheet, you're going to understand that. If it's sports. All this is X's and O's. You don't see people. You see where X has to go, you see where O has to go. And you plan around that. So he's put the party in a very difficult place. In that few people want to work with him or the party. And that's a very bad place to be, sir. Very bad place to be. Like I said, I'm glad I'm off that vessel.
You left that ship and said, when you come off, when you went into the plane, you look back and said, I'm gone.
Yeah. I came off that Malali a couple of years and I'm glad I off that Malali.
But it's James, it's sad. That's the PNC that we all know, man. That's a part of Guyana. It's sad.
I feel if there's any sadness, it's for the people. It's for the ordinary people who are looking for leadership, who are looking for someone or a group to represent their interests. And you know, I tell PNC people this. I tell them, do not be afraid to work with the government. Don't be afraid to work and engage with the government. And we've been doing that, and I see most places we go, like we have to this afternoon, we'll be at Haslington. Minister Jacobs will be giving over some gold posts. You are going to be there. I'm going to be there representing him, and Member Parliament Suraj Singh is going to be there as well. And the people in the community, they're willing to engage the government, the young people. Engage the government so that development could come. It will come, but it's good when you're a part of it. You know, it's good when you're a part of it, when you're seen as a community leader, engaging the government and bringing these resources to your community. It comes at a faster rate. You know, if you were there advocating as opposed to somebody not advocating. We got to get this, we got to get that, we got to get here, we got to get it thorough. And you got a government who listens, you got a government who wants to be involved and wants to help. So I've told PNC people this here. Don't be afraid to engage the government. Reach out to the ministers. Reach out to party activists. Get involved. Bring development to your community. In the areas of agriculture, education. Do it. You see, you want a program for financial literacy? Reach out to the Ministry of Finance, to the Bank of Guyana. Create a program that you could actually change and uplift your community. What is this whole politics thing? Oh, it's PPP, me want to do that. You're going to wait until PNC go back into power there to bring development to your community? Nonsense. Nonsense. A lot of communities are not waiting for nobody. You know, we got to stop this attitude we got to get a government that looks like us to actually start working with the government.
I think that is not fading now. It's fading.
Slowly.
Oh, it's gone.
Slowly. But we have to be like every other grouping. The Amerindians don't wait on an Amerindian government to work with the government. The Chinese don't wait on a Chinese government to work with the government. The Portuguese don't wait on a Portuguese government to work with the government. East Indians don't wait on an Indian government to work with the government. Why must Afro-Guyanese wait on an Afro-Guyanese government to work with the government?
Yeah.
You know, and thanks to Dr. David Muhammad, who advocates that principle all along. You know, and that's one of my mentors. He says, Africans must not wait oh, I see a man looking like me then to get involved. No. You work with the government of the day to bring benefit to your people.
Each parliamentarian for every party is allocated a region. Has that been done by the PPP yet?
I don't think it. Well, you know the regional MPs who would have already known which region they're from.
Yeah, so, but no, apart from the 10.
Yeah.
Each MP is not given from all the parties.
Yeah.
That you deal with Mahaika, you deal with Anna Regina. That hasn't been done as yet.
No, not as yet. That will be done in soon course, where everybody will have their own responsibilities or whatever. But I think everyone has like I said, it's one team. Whether you're assigned to regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, your task as a member of parliament is to advocate the parties, the government's position.
Are you at liberty on this program to say how the One Guyana Commission is coming up? It has to be backed by legislation, right?
I have no, I can't, not at liberty to say. You have to speak position of knowledge. So I'm not, that's above my pay grade, as they say.
Okay.
That's above my pay grade.
Right. The people watching this program obviously will ask, you're asking Bond about WIN. What shall I ask you about WIN then, Azzuddin Mohammed?
Let me just say, I think one thing is, with the WIN party, they surprised me. WIN surprised me. I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, I thought they would have done this good. I didn't expect them to be the PNC. I never, that came out of left field. I never expected them to do this well. When they didn't know political work. You know, they didn't have a political, I don't think they had, what we look.
Yeah, they didn't have an election machinery.
They didn't have election machinery or campaign machinery. They didn't have their political naivety showed in a lot of things that they did. They just ran amok in PNC areas and got the support of key PNC people. PNC actually got win 16 seats. Majority of their people is from Apnu.
Yeah, Bishop Edgell said in an interview that we broadcasted 3 weeks ago, he said there are WIN people, there are PNC people in that WIN thing, you know. There have been talks that people like Travis Chase, GKH Lal, Darren Wade have some relationship with WIN before the elections. So Edgell said, when you talk about WIN, they got a lot of PNC people in that thing.
No, it's true. It's true. I could tell you, I could get too many examples on the campaign trail in which I'm walking, run into somebody, and they said they vote in WIN. You know, and this is a PNC person. This is somebody who I walked with. You know, who I did political work with. This is a PNC person. So they just decided, look, we ain't got time with the PNC, no, we just go in and support WIN. So for me, I don't think this will last with WIN, because politics, you need strategy. You need a lot of strategists. And they don't, to me, they lack strategy. They lack strategy. They're like the PNC, like, you know, oh, everything is P, fight the PP, and that don't get them nowhere. I mean, I shouldn't even be saying these things because they might learn. I don't really want to give too much advice, but
you don't want to get them free
I don't want to get free advice. I get paid for giving advice. But I'm telling you, is this honeymoon ain't gonna last. It is not gonna last, because again, you need strategies to keep people, to gain people. You know, the PNC, I don't think the PNC is gonna lie down and sit down and see all them people gone. They're gonna try to get back something. You know, so of course the PP Civic is working hard to get, not only to maintain but to grow. The PNC is now trying to get back what they lost. So I think that third force is gonna, yeah. They're gonna by the time 2031 come, they're gonna
Fizzle out?
they're gonna fizzle a bit. Fizzle a lot. It's gonna fizzle a lot.
Could they survive without Assaduddin Mohammed? Even if the extradition thing is dragged out, Court of Appeal, CCJ, it's going to conclude before 2030 elections.
No, they can't survive without Mr. Mohammed. Let's be fair, man. They can't survive Mr. Mohammed and his money. If Mr. Mohammed is not there, his money is not going to be there. He's not going to be funding anybody. And then again, you have people there who've already attacked private sector, who've attacked everybody who they think is PP Civic. So they've gone down the road the PNC did, alienating themselves from right-thinking Guyanese. You know, they've alienated themselves from business community, alienated themselves from right-thinking Guyanese. So if he's not there, then if you look at the people who actually could bring, say, let's say 100 votes, who from Win could bring just 100, don't worry 1,000. Who could bring 100 votes? Tabitha Sali is about 2 votes. Natasha Singh Lewis,
You're that
5
critical,
votes.
2 votes.
Dawn Hastings could bring about 500 votes, 400 votes. Dawn Hastings from Mazaruni there, Upper Maz. She could bring a couple hundred votes. Who else? Well, the Supreme was 1 vote, hers. So who is going to carry the party? People don't understand this. Mr. Muhammad got popular by doing charity. People, you know, Guyanese, like everybody else, we respect people who give. If a man is going to give, a man who's going to give of his own, do charity, we're going to give you that respect. You know, I gave him the respect. He came to Melanie, did some things, 1,000 hampers. We gave him that respect. We gave him that love. That's normal. Politics is not charity. Politics is thinking about a country and moving a country forward. And they have not shown that they have the acumen, the political acumen, or any other acumen to move this country forward. They don't have any ideas. I mean, they didn't even really order paper to know that there was no election of opposition leader. They don't even know how to do it. So you have a grouping there who are not aware of what is going on around them. You know, you'll see it in the house. You'll see when you get into that house there, and they have to debate and they have to challenge a position and defend a position, and they have to do it with authority. They have to go do research, and then you'll see cheese to chalk. Then you'll see, well, the PPP Civic is the mighty PP Civic. I'm waiting for that, when we could challenge the intellect of these people who say they want to run Guyana. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm chopping at the bits for that.
You're going to be sitting maybe across, I don't know, because you're probably going to be a front bencher.
No, I'm in the second bench.
You're going to be watching at a man who was very, very insulting to you when you crossed over and endorsed the PPP. That's David Hinds. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I got some licks with Dr. Hinds. I can let him know that. I got some licks for him and Campbell. I think.
But you're telegraphing across
no,
him.
You
got some licks to David Hinds.
Watch me. I play chess a couple hours every week. Every week I play a couple hours.
Still do?
Still do.
Right. One of the things, chess and politics are related.
Yeah, I actually go review games and that kind of thing. One of the things in chess, right, they got something called force moves. Not every move you telegraph. Not every move you say what you're going to do. There are some moves there are force moves, where you know the opponent has probably one or two moves, but you already know if you use any one of those 2 moves. Well, force is just one single move, but you could do whatever. No matter what moves you make, the next move is another force move, in which you are still maintaining the upper hand. So I could tell David Hinds, and like Dr. David Hinds, I could tell Dr. Campbell, I have licks for them in National Assembly. Because I know the kind of licks I'll put in them, no matter what their rebuttal will be. I know.
But Campbell hasn't been insulting to you as David Hinds.
No, he was.
Oh, I didn't know.
He was worse.
Oh,
Yeah, he was worse.
To you, James Bond?
To me, man. I go in and vote with my wife. That's the thing, too.
And you
my
accosted
wife
you?
and my daughter, I go in and vote with my
You
wife.
with your family and you
my
accosted
family
you?
in my hometown, man. Now where I actually live. And this man says, call me house slave, man.
In front of your family?
In front of my wife, man.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and this idiot.
No, man, you gotta respect family, man.
Yeah, this idiot in Parliament, when I shake Dr. Todd's hand, said, well, no handshake for me too. I was like, who's these guys really think I am, you know? Like, I think people got this idea that, you know, on Facebook, you could say something and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. But in the real world, James Bond is different. Yeah, the real world, James Bond is a different world.
Terrence Campbell in front of you.
And from my wife and from my brother,
called you a
me house slave, man.
Where that happened?
In Good Hope. Call me house
He
slave.
was there.
He sitting down on the shop and shouted, "Hey, house slave!"
Oh my.
Yeah.
No, man.
So
God,
he could never get my respect.
So let's.
The thing is, he could never.
Operator said time come. Let's conclude. David Hinds and Terrence Campbell must know that Licks is waiting for them in Parliament.
Licks, what?
The fact any one of those lashes could be a John Lash.
No, Dr. Hinds shouldn't be in Parliament. I think he should look after his health. I mean, he couldn't even read
No, but you got please be respectful.
No, like I said, he should not be there. No, let me say this.
You have to be sympathetic to a person.
No, I'm not.
That's not you. That's not you.
No, could I say this here? I say this here? I'm concerned about his health. That's why I said he should not be there.
Okay.
He should be at home resting. He should retire from public politics and rest. This politics is for young people. He should be at home resting, bouncing his grandchildren on his lap. He's taking up the space for Christopher Jones or one of these younger guys.
James, you have a special place in this program. You wanted the person who built this program. It's always nice talking to you. Good luck in your personal, political, and business life.
Thank you, sir.
You were looking at one of the enduring political figures in the youthful political world of Guyana, 007 James Bond, Member of Parliament, and we will hear about no more designation. James, whether you like him or not, has a meaningful contribution to make as the future of Guyana takes greater shape. Thanks for being with us this Wednesday evening. Have whatever's left of it. Please enjoy it. We will see you on Friday evening. Thanks for being with us on behalf of 007 and his license and our operators.